Among the brightest stars of Hollywood, Hedy Lamarr stood as the undisputed peak of timeless beauty. Yet beneath her glamorous costumes beat a heart that longed to unlock the codes of the universe. She was an actress, and also the inventor of frequency-hopping technology, the very foundation of modern Wi-Fi. Tonight, by the softly flickering fire, let us step into her real life. If beauty is a gift, then Hedy Lamarr's gift must have felt like a heavy burden. The world only adored her perfect profile, yet no one cared about her intricate sketches late at night in her makeshift laboratory. She studied wartime technology amid the noise of celebrity, yet faded away quietly in the loneliness of her later years. Close your eyes, and in this low, gentle narration, touch her hidden fate woven with intellect and emotion. Hedy Lamarr, a woman who played the screen beauty to perfection, yet secretly helped shape the future. Her life spanned war, wealthy marriages, the glitz of stardom, and a deeply secluded old age. From screen siren to tech pioneer, every turn in her life was a silent revolution. Let this easy-to-remember story carry you into the most peaceful sleep. Imagine a grand Hollywood dinner party in 1940. Lights blazed, jewels sparkled, and all eyes were drawn to the woman with almost divine, otherworldly beauty. She was Hedy Lamarr, hailed across America as the most beautiful woman in the world. But on that elegant, superficial night, her handbag held no face powder, only pages covered in complex formulas. Her mind was busy figuring out how to use frequency-hopping signals to keep Allied torpedoes safe from enemy jamming. Tonight, by the softly flickering fire, let us enter her real life through a story you do not have to struggle to remember. This is a tale of beauty misunderstood, genius overlooked, and a quiet mind that ended up changing the future. When all the screen glamour fades, we find that the lonely inventor was who she truly wanted to be. Before she became a Hollywood legend, Hedy Lamarr was a trapped wealthy wife in Vienna. Her first husband was the notorious arms dealer Friedrich Mandel, and because of her astonishing looks, he treated her like a living work of art, bringing her to top-secret military meetings. Nazi officials and engineers spoke openly at the dinner table about radar systems and radio-controlled torpedoes. They thought this beautiful woman was just decoration, never knowing she was silently memorizing every key technical detail. Hedy understood these technologies would become weapons of war, and she was trapped in a gilded cage. Late one night, she disguised herself as a maid, sewed all her jewelry into her clothing, and escaped the mansion on a bicycle through the back gate. She crossed borders, traveled through Paris, and on an ocean liner bound for London, met the man who would change her fate, Louis B. Mayer, head of Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer. This time, she would no longer be someone's possession. She would use her face to earn her place in Hollywood. But the military secrets she carried that night remained like a fuse buried deep in her logical mind. She knew one day those dry radio frequencies would become her weapon against the world. Hedy Lamarr was adored by everyone on MGM film sets, yet she remained strangely aloof. While other starlets played cards and gossiped in dressing rooms, Hedy covered her folding table with wrenches and test tubes. She even turned her home into a small laboratory, filled with mechanical drawings and technical schematics. She improved traffic lights, experimented with tablets that dissolved into cola underwater, and helped billionaire Howard Hughes design more aerodynamic airplane wings. She once said, "Any girl can be glamorous. All you have to do is stand still and look stupid." But her hunger for intellect burned so fiercely that she often lay awake at night. In 1940, she met George Antheil, a pioneering composer with an equally eccentric genius. They talked at the piano, and Hedy had a sudden insight. If a piano could switch keys using a rolling cylinder, why couldn't radio signals switch frequencies repeatedly to avoid jamming? Together they drew complex circuit diagrams on her living room floor and invented spread-spectrum communication technology, known as frequency hopping. Hedy donated the patent freely to the U.S. Navy, eager to contribute to the fight against fascism. Naively, she believed the world would finally see the brilliant mind behind her breathtaking beauty. Yet fate did not reward her with heroic recognition, as it might in a movie script. When Hedy Lamarr walked into the Navy Department office with pride and hope, she was met with restrained ridicule. Officers in crisp uniforms stared at the face that had captivated them, and coldly rejected the patent that could have altered the war. Their reason was absurdly arrogant: "Dear, you're so beautiful. If you really want to serve your country, why not help us sell war bonds?" They could not imagine a glamorous doll inventing such sophisticated radio control systems. Hedy felt a sharp, stinging pain, heavier than any harsh review of her acting. She had no choice but to compromise. She went on fundraising tours, kissing anyone who donated enough money. With her face called the most beautiful in the world, she raised millions of dollars, yet her heart wept for the patent locked away in a dusty archive. The world only accepted her lips, not her mind. This terrible mismatch of identity left her deeply weary of crowds. She began to realize beauty was not just her ticket in, but a cage she could never escape. As Hollywood's golden age ended, Hedy Lamarr slowly stepped out of the spotlight. She endured several failed marriages, her wealth shrank in bitter legal battles, and her reputation became tarnished by rumors of cosmetic surgery gone wrong. In her later years, Hedy chose extreme seclusion, hiding in an ordinary apartment in Florida, rarely answering calls or seeing strangers. Her only real connection was hours of daily phone calls with her children, where she still spoke passionately about cutting-edge technology. She no longer cared about makeup or gowns, and even began to mock the face that had brought her both glory and suffering. It was not until 1997, when the Electronic Frontier Foundation awarded her the Pioneer Award, that the world acknowledged her work. Frequency hopping had become the core architecture of Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. By then she was 83 years old. She refused to attend the ceremony in person, and only said calmly in a recorded message, "It's about time." This justice, delayed for half a century, brought her not celebration, but long overdue peace. She had spent thousands of nights alone in the dark, and the complex radio bands that once troubled her now pulsed as eternal signals in our wireless world. She could finally let go of the perfectly packaged Hollywood image and return to the lonely soul who loved logic and order. Hedy Lamarr passed away peacefully in her sleep one winter day in early 2000, with an unread technical magazine still by her bed. To answer the question from the beginning, why did such a violent clash exist between her beauty and her genius? Perhaps the prejudices of her era were simply too heavy to allow a beautiful woman to also be a brilliant thinker. But today, every time you connect to Wi-Fi, every time you use a mobile signal, you are breathing the air she left behind during those long, quiet nights. She left the world not only stunning moments frozen in black and white film, but an undying frequency that connects us all. In a story easy to hold in memory, she used her intellect to finally redeem her own soul. Now close your eyes, breathe deeply, and at the end of this tale, say goodbye to this beautiful pioneer. May you sleep in complete peace on this night of steady, gentle signals. Good night, and sweet dreams.